Have you ever heard a rumor so strange, so unexpected, that it makes you stop whatever you're doing and just listen? Because today, we're diving into something the camera world has been quietly whispering about for months, something that could shake the photography and filmmaking industry all over again. It's called the Nikon ZR. Now, maybe you've seen tiny hints online, maybe a few blurry leaks, a patent here, a whisper on a forum there, a trust me, bro, tweet from someone who claims to know someone inside Nikon. You scroll, you read, you nod, you doubt. But somewhere deep inside, a part of you feels like something big is coming. And that feeling, well, you're not alone. Because what if I told you that Nikon, the same company that has been reshaping mirrorless cameras, the same brand that went from is Nikon dead to is Nikon about to dominate, is working on something different, something unusual, something we haven't seen from them before. So today, settle in. Whether you're driving, relaxing, cooking, editing photos, or lying in bed, just listen. Because for the next half hour, we're going to explore the world of Nikon's rumored ZR project. What it could be, why it's making people excited, why others are skeptical, and why this one mysterious camera, or series of cameras, might tell us exactly where the future of photography is headed. Let's start with a question that seems simple, but really isn't. What is the Nikon ZR? Some people think it's a camera. Others think it's a new category. Some believe it's a code name. And then there are the wild theories, the ones that Nikon insiders are definitely not talking about, at least not publicly. So let's rewind the story. A few months ago, a small patent filing in Japan mentioned something unusual, a new camera body layout that didn't match any existing Nikon Z camera. Not the Z5, not the Z6 or Z7 lines, not the Z8. Certainly not the Z9. Something slimmer. Something different. People didn't know what to call it. So the internet gave it a name, ZR. Some said the R stands for retro. Others claimed it meant rangefinder. A few speculated it might stand for reinvented, reborn, reimagined, or even revolution. But before we jump to conclusions, let's think logically. Why would Nikon build a new category at all? Let's talk about the market. Cameras today fall into a few main groups. You've got your entry-level models, your mid-tier hybrids, your professional flagships, and then a growing niche, retro-styled cameras. Cameras that look like they stepped out of the 70s or 80s but shoot like the future. Cameras that connect emotionally. Cameras that make you want to go outside and create. And guess what? Those cameras are exploding in popularity. We're seeing younger creators gravitate toward retro designs because they feel personal. They feel fun. They feel intentional. They feel different from smartphones. Fujifilm proved it with the X100 series. Nikon proved it too with the ZF. That thing sold out for months. So maybe the Nikon ZR is the next logical step. A smaller, faster, sharper, more portable retro camera. Maybe something designed for creators who want style, but also want substance. Imagine a compact Nikon body with the soul of a vintage camera, but the brain of a modern flagship. Imagine a camera you could take everywhere. Coffee shops, road trips, quiet city nights, mountain hikes, concerts, vacations, without feeling like you're carrying a tech brick around your neck. Imagine a camera built not just to capture moments, but to invite them. But then again, what if I told you there's another theory? Some believe the ZR isn't about style at all. Some think Nikon is working on a small body, big sensor camera, something like a full-frame compact. Something that goes head-to-head with the rising wave of premium point-and-shoots, except with Nikon's color science, Nikon's ergonomics, Nikon's autofocus, and Nikon's legendary lens compatibility. Picture this. A camera smaller than a Z6 with a sensor bigger than you'd expect, and features that make you wonder, how do they fit all this in here? Think about street photographers, travelers, documentarians, casual creators, everyday people who want beautiful photos without mastering complex gear. The idea of a small, full-frame Nikon with modern autofocus and stunning dynamic range? That's a dream people are ready to pay for. And yet, we still don't know. That's what makes this entire story so addictive. The uncertainty, the unknown, the possibilities. The feeling that something exciting is coming, but no one knows exactly what shape it'll take. So let's pull apart the clues. Let's talk about what the Nikon ZR might look like and whether it's something we even need. First, the design. If Nikon continues their retro meets modern formula, expect clean mechanical dials, tactile controls, strong lines, and that classic Nikon feel, like picking up a camera that respects the past but embraces the future. People love this design language. It's nostalgic but practical. Second, the sensor. Would Nikon dare put a full-frame sensor in such a compact body? Or would they choose APS-C to silence size constraints and strengthen battery life? If Nikon wants to compete with Fujifilm's compact lineup, APS-C makes sense. But if they want to challenge Sony's RX1 or any future Leica Q alternatives, full-frame becomes tempting. Third, the lenses. Would the ZR use existing Z-mount lenses? Probably yes. But what if Nikon introduced compact Z lenses? Pancake primes, lightweight zooms, affordable, fast, everyday glass. A ZR body with small lenses could become the perfect street photography ecosystem. And then there's video. Oh yes, we have to talk about video. Because creators today want hybrid functionality. They want to shoot high-quality YouTube content, short films, interviews, and travel vlogs on the same device they use for stills. So imagine this. 4K 60, great low-light performance, oversampled footage, eye-tracking autofocus, real-time stabilization, clean audio, colors that look cinematic out of the box. If a Nikon ZR nailed video, it could instantly become a creator favorite. Now let's consider another possibility. What if Nikon is secretly building something more experimental, something designed for AI-powered workflows? Maybe the ZR isn't a retro camera at all, but rather a computational hybrid camera that merges traditional imaging with the kind of real-time processing we've only seen on smartphones. Imagine shooting in near darkness and watching the camera use intelligent noise reduction instantly. Imagine real-time depth mapping for precise subject isolation. Imagine built-in LUTs that match Hollywood color science. It sounds futuristic, but in 2025, it's not unrealistic. But let's step even further back. Let's ask a bigger question. Why is Nikon doing any of this? Well, Nikon is an interesting company. They're not like Canon or Sony. Nikon doesn't rush products out constantly. They move deliberately, thoughtfully, sometimes slowly, but when they strike hard. The Z9 shocked the industry. The Z8 disrupted the market. The ZF stole hearts. So maybe the ZR is next in that story. Not a camera built to replace anything. Not a camera built to compete directly with something. But a camera built to expand Nikon's world, to invite new creators into the Z ecosystem. Because let's be honest, photography is changing. Videography is changing. Social media is massive. Travel content is massive. The line between pros and casual users is blurring. People don't just want a tool anymore. They want an experience. They want a camera that makes them feel something. And Nikon knows that. So imagine you're holding the Nikon ZR right now. The body feels light but solid. The grip fits your hand. The dials click satisfyingly. The shutter button has that classic Nikon half press you can feel in your bones. You bring the camera up to your eye, whether it's an EVF or maybe even an optical styled hybrid, and suddenly you're in your own little world. The distractions fade. The noise fades. Your attention sharpens. Photography becomes simple again. Clean. Intentional. Human. That's the magic Nikon might be trying to capture. A camera that doesn't fight you. A camera that doesn't overwhelm you. A camera that just works. Now, before we go further, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Will this thing even exist? Remember, the ZR is still a rumor. Nikon hasn't confirmed a single detail. But here's the thing. Every major camera release begins as a rumor. The Nikon Z8 was a rumor for years. The ZF rumors sounded impossible until they weren't. The Z9 was called too ambitious until it changed the industry. Rumors often reveal a direction, a pattern, a shift. And right now, the pattern says Nikon cares about compactness, creativity, nostalgia, and hybrid performance. So maybe the ZR isn't just possible. Maybe it's inevitable. But here's where things get interesting. Let's imagine the Nikon ZR gets released. What would it mean for Nikon? For creators? For the future of cameras? Well, if the ZR succeeds, it proves something important. People don't choose cameras based solely on specs. They choose cameras that make them want to shoot. A beautiful, compact, emotionally compelling Nikon could become the go-to camera for the next generation. A tool for travelers, vloggers, students, artists, families, and anyone who wants images that feel real and intentional. But if the ZR fails, if Nikon misjudges the market, it becomes a reminder that innovation is always a risk, but a necessary one. Now imagine this scenario. Nikon releases the ZR, and it does something unexpected, something bold, something that makes even Sony, Canon, and Fujifilm take notice. Maybe the price is shockingly affordable. Maybe the autofocus is industry-leading. Maybe the colors are breathtaking. Maybe the film simulations, if Nikon adds them, are incredible. Maybe the camera becomes TikTok viral. Maybe it becomes the everywhere camera, showing up on YouTube channels, Instagram feeds, travel blogs, and documentaries. Because it's not the specs alone that build a legend. It's how people use the camera. It's the stories they tell through it. It's the memories they capture. It's the way the camera fits into their lives. So the real question isn't, what is the Nikon ZR? It's, what could the Nikon ZR mean to you? Maybe it inspires you to take more photos. Maybe it becomes the gateway into filmmaking. Maybe it's the camera that pushes you to explore, to travel, to document your world. Maybe it helps you build your career. Or maybe it just becomes your favorite companion, small enough to carry anywhere, powerful enough to capture anything. Photography isn't just about pixels and sensors. It's about moments. And maybe Nikon understands that better than ever. So here's the truth. We don't know when the Nikon ZR will arrive. We don't know what it will look like. We don't know what it will cost. But we do know this. Something is coming. Something interesting. Something that has people talking. Something that feels fresh in a world that sometimes feels repetitive. And whether the Nikon ZR turns out to be a compact retro camera or a new hybrid tool or something we haven't even imagined yet, one thing is clear. Nikon is not slowing down. The future of cameras is not slowing down. And maybe, just maybe, this mysterious ZR will be part of the next chapter in the story of photography. So keep your eyes open, keep your imagination open, and keep your excitement ready. Because the Nikon ZR may be closer than we think. And when it arrives, it might just surprise all of us.